Sure, Moroccan guys, earlier Uboso, we are back. New week, new video, same month. Interesting video. So this is for my people who are in business. Like if you like following business news, so this video is for you. And yeah, stay through until the end. It's quite a fascinating and interesting video. I think especially for everyone, man. Yeah, without wasting no time, this video I'm gonna touch on the turnaround strategy of Pick n Pay. So for those that don't know, is that Pick n Pay is currently going through a major turnaround. So what happened is that in the past years, Pick n Pay has been making tremendous losses year on year, you know. So they were not able to pay their debt. They couldn't pay back their loans. Maybe even not paying some of their suppliers. So what they did is the owners of the business, they reappointed their all-time CEO, who goes by the name Mr. Sean Summers. So Mr. Sean Summers actually, he served as the Pick n Pay. He worked for Pick n Pay from 1974 to 2007. During this period, he became the CEO in 1997 until his retirement in 2007. So part of the business that Summers did when he was at Pick n Pay was that in 2002, he bought a business that was in the same space as Pick n Pay, or trading in the same industry as Pick n Pay. This business is called Boxer. So Boxer is like a leg of Pick n Pay that's like you say they mostly focus in the township economy, the rural area. So that's where they like highly present. So what Sean's strategy for Sean Summers with this business was that he buys the whole business, but then he does not interfere in the operations of this business. Okay, so this Boxer trades separately from Pick n Pay, although it's wholly owned by Pick n Pay. There are maybe some of the services that they share here and there, but it's very independent in terms of operations from Pick n Pay. And this Boxer business has been doing very well, so it's one of the assets on the Pick n Pay group. So the Boxer business and then the Pick n Pay clothing as well, also doing well. But the Pick n Pay retail and Pick n Pay hyper and so forth, that part of the business was doing horribly. They were not making any profit, right? So even though now the other business is making profit, when you bring everything together, when they consolidate, the whole group is still making a profit, regardless of the other entities making the whole group is still making a loss, not a profit, regardless of the other entities within the group making profit. So what Sean Summers did when he came in is that, because he was reappointed in 2023, and that's around about the same time I also got to know about him, because he presented at a business conference that normally happens in Hermanus, in the Western Cape, South Africa. So it's like, wow, what an interesting man. So he was just arrogant, talking his strategy, how he's working so hard in the background to turn around this business. So yes, so part of his turnaround strategy is that he's closing down most of the stores and converting them into Boxer stores. So Boxer, that company that I'm talking about, that has a high presence in the township and stuff. And if you may know, I think also here in Namibia, I think July will be the last trading month for Pick n Pay. I think the supermarkets, they will also be turned into a different store. I'm not sure what they are gonna be turned into, but yeah, here in Namibia, I don't know what stores they are gonna turn the Pick n Pay business into. But in South Africa, what they're doing mostly is that they're turning them into Boxer stores, and because Pick n Pay also has a franchise business and they own their own stores. So I think the one in Namibia, that's a franchise. What they're doing is their own stores, they're turning them into franchise as well. So yeah, and part of the major turnaround strategy that the CEO came up with is that he's gonna list the boxer business on the Johannesburg Exchange, which he actually did already in June. I mean, not June, but in November of 2024, and it was received well. I think they listed it at around 54 rand per share. Now they are sitting at around 60 something rand per share. So, and people have been buying these shares. So this strategy actually, it's more to raise like money for the group. So what happens is that now the 40% that they listed on the stock exchange, they're gonna use that cash to redeploy back in the Pick n Pay group, so they can refurbish their stores, so they can hire new management, and then so they can also like pay back their debt with the banks and so forth, you know. So this is what Sean Summers is actually busy with, and he's done much of the work to say. So I've come across most of the articles that are reporting positive stuff now about Pick n Pay. I think their financial statements are coming, not coming, but their financial period is ending this Feb, so their financial should be ready by after 3 months. So we wait on that and see how they are performing. But from the time when Summers took over, it managed to bring down the losses from billions to like a few hundred thousands now. And yeah, we're expecting more positive growth in the current financial year, going into the following financial year, because his strategy is going to last until the end of 2027's financial period, which is Feb 2027. So in all this turnaround, the CEO has to be paid. So this is how his incentive is looking like. So he's promised 2 million shares, 4 million shares in the group if he turns it around. And these shares are gonna come to life into 3 parts. The first part will be the first 2 million, which he will be able to get in form of shares by October this year. So end of October this year, if he had managed to put together as a leadership team that is effective and also effective operational structures, he will be able to get the 2 million shares this October. And then in 2027, Feb 28, he will get part of the other 2 million if he has groomed a CEO who's gonna take over from him. And then again on the same date, he's gonna get the other million in forms of shares if he has reached the business long-term financial goals, long-term financial performance goals. Okay, so for him, it's an easy job, not an easy job to do, but he's doing well leading up to this progress. So yeah, that's the story of Pick n Pay, man. They are turning around and they trying to improve their in-store experience for the customers. They're trying to get their employees well equipped so they can treat customers better. Yes, getting more money through their other businesses to make sure that the business stays alive. So yeah, so what I actually picked up during this whole situation is that we shouldn't really let entities be liquidated. There's always a way to sort of like bail them out, especially for government entities. Like, I get so, not so angry, but it's quite disappointing when you see like government entities being liquidated, as whereby they could actually be bailed out and enforcing what is this, good operational structures, overhaul the whole system, getting new people, getting experienced people, putting new money, get these new people with fresh ideas to implement the company's objectives and see if they can turn it around. And I mean, you can do this for as long as you can until, I mean, business takes long to take off, so you can do this for as long as you can until the business is able to sustain itself. I know, it's not always easy when you hear, no, this business is being built out, but it's bound to happen. At some point it has to be done so we can save people's employment. Those are the people that feed their families. So if we close down businesses, we are taking food out of people's families' mouths. So yeah, so those are my 2 cents on this whole turnaround strategy. But yeah, maybe there's someone that was wondering, like, yo, but how is that possible that a company like Pick and Pay, where you see people going in every day, buying goods, how is it possible that they are insolvent, they don't have cash to pay back their loans and stuff? So as much as you see what happens in the store, there's also a department called head office. So there are also employees at head office that need to be paid salaries. Not the employees does not only revolve around the people that you see in the stores. There are people who are at head office who are responsible for buying the stock for the business. There are people who are responsible for finances of the business. There are people who are responsible for risk management of the business. All those people, they sit at head office and they need to be paid. So in terms of salaries, this business asks a lot of salary expense. And then there's other things like they have to pay for water and electricity, rentals, because most of the stores that they operate in, they probably renting them, so they have to pay rent. And then they have to pay their service providers, they have to pay suppliers. Some of the stock that they buy from suppliers doesn't even sell, so you have to write down this stock. So it's a lot that goes in. So yeah, you are bound to make a loss at some point. So, but shout out to CEO Summers, wish him all the best into turning around this business. And yeah, we have come to the end of this video, man. So if you found it informative, give it some thumbs up and share it with whoever you think might want to listen to this video. Until then, man, Elia Ubozo, and this is the Digital Library. Cheers.